Well, I was watching a program for some reason. I just sort of, it was concerned with people who are bereaved and how they are, some poor souls, so desperate that they've lost, that they seek out in their secular way some hope of the afterlife, perhaps in their religious way too. They want confirmation that their loved one is still in existence in some spiritual sense, and in some sense, when they too die, they will have them again. But they're thinking of it in an extremely worldly way, so to speak. They're not thinking in terms of God at all. You know, God, I don't think was mentioned in the entire program. All these therapy groups that were together talking about whether loved ones were around and could hear them, and how to contact them and so on. Whether it was by, inference of the possibility of mediums, or whether it was simply becoming more and more conscious of the one that died and perhaps getting messages back. And that's really the gist of the whole program, was the desire to have some contact with the dead, because the person who's living still, parents say in particular, or the husband or wife that's left bereaved, so longs for the person again. And of course it occurs to us, doesn't it, that such great longing may even hold back the person who's died from going on to what is next for them. We're keeping them here because we're so desperate without them. And they, because they love you, can't leave you in this lonely state, so they are lingering in the spiritual sense. Their spirit's still here, instead of going on to what they should be doing next. Whether that's in heaven, or perhaps, as some religions believe, another incarnation, which I think is possible for at least many. Possible? No. More probable than not. Yes, I think possibly, just. I'm not sure. I don't know. I live in a world of uncertainty, and I embrace this, of course, as you know, because I'm trusting that God's allowing this uncertainty for a reason. You can storm heaven, even as a secular person you can storm heaven, and be storming heaven without realizing it, and insisting that your loved one that you've lost comes to you because you are so utterly wretched, and will make yourself more and more wretched until they come. This is not the happiest situation to be in. Let the love that you have for the person that's departed, allow them to depart, but as their time has come, find a trust and a peace in that they need to move on. And just as you will need to move on when you die, if your children or your spouse is just desperate without you, how are you going to feel free to move on to what you truly need next? Are you going to be bound in the sort of Netherland of being with your ones that are still alive, but not alive in the physical form yourself? No longer having the facility of the body, your own body, to minister and care to them, but just your presence, which they more or less feel and know? Are you going to stay for the next 10 years until they die too? And then they're going to stay because of more loved ones, their children and so on, or spouse that needs them to stay? Are we all going to stay back from the heaven that we should be enjoying? I don't think we want that. So you say to yourself, if you possibly can, thank you, Heavenly Father, that you've taken Granny or your pet or your friends, your partner, your children, perhaps. I'm going to trust you for it, Lord. What do I gain by not trusting you for that? I'd be mad not to do it. I could have endless suffering and unhappiness, or I can choose to trust you. I can choose to trust that you don't exist and that this terrible thing has beset me and I've got to drag on without the physical presence of my loved deceased one. Or I can choose to trust you for their welfare and not hold them back, perhaps, by my longing for them, but on the contrary, just longing for their happiness and fulfillment in whatever path spiritually they must now take, and trusting God for their fulfillment and blessing. My God, that's what I'm going to do. That's the way forward. You see, our Heavenly Father has come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Not an eternal mourning like Queen Victoria, that in the end drives those that are still alive to distraction. The one dear family, they were so lost one of their children. What about the other two that are still alive? Are they to be constantly in mourning too? Or are they to enter into the fullness of life that they need? Not just what you need, and what you're needing for them. You've lost one of your 3 children. Well, that means you will give more love to the other 2, more attention, more time and resources and care. You're going to make this a blessing for the other 2, and a freedom for the one that has died. To leave you now, perhaps. Perhaps not. Perhaps in their realm, in the kingdom of heaven, they can visit you often, even guide you, be a comfort to you. Well, that's good. But don't tenaciously hang on to this as a necessity. If it's given to you as a blessing, lovely. If it's not, accept it as a blessing. To love those who are still in this world the more, for they need your love and care. Isn't that wonderful? To be needed. Bless you. Bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Allow you to pass through your grieving by his loving company and consolation. His presence is teaching your awareness of such, and your awareness of his love for you, not just your love for those who have departed, but your love for those that are still here and will be here in your life in the future years. And your awareness of the love and care of God for all that you love. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.